is up, Real Pretty Family? You know how we coming, you know how we bumming, you know how we slumming in this channel. And if you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit that like button down below. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. And don't forget to share this video with all your friends, family, and anybody who has a YouTube account. Okay? Okay. As you can see from today's title, we're going to be talking about the truths of being a good woman. What we think being a good woman is versus what actually is being a good woman. Okay, so this is for the ladies, anybody who, you know, believes they're a woman and wants to learn femininity. And yes, so you can start, honestly, when you're a teenager, you can start building character, building morals, building confidence, all the way from yay high. So let's get into it. So truth number one about being a good woman is don't be accommodating to other people around you, okay? Don't shrink yourself, don't make yourself small, and definitely don't swallow your opinions to keep the peace. Because all the great women and men in the world who made a change in this country obviously had to step up above boundaries and to do things that other people thought were crazy. Even scientists and anybody, people who invented new things, whoever even invented this dang AI, right? They must have thought, robots, AI, what is AI? Da-da-da-da. You're gonna be crazy. Nobody's gonna want robots in the world, da-da-da-da, right? But that person still didn't accommodate to nobody's opinions, still didn't accommodate to nothing that's going on in the world, and decided to still do what they believed is right. So if you believe in something that is right, and especially if your heart is connected to it and your heart just feels like you have to do it, then probably like 9 times out of 10 that it's a good thing to do. So you always want to stand up for what's good, you always want to stand up for yourself, and you always want to stand up also for anything like negative or bad that's going around you. You don't want to be a bystander in situations either, because if you're a bystander, that's just the same as being a bully. So you definitely got to speak up, state your opinions, don't try to keep the peace, F the peace, and be who you are. Okay? Truth number two, I would say, is boundaries and morals are definitely required, because boundaries and morals show that you have a good, like, I'm not trying to say holy, but like good, you know, like good, empathetic, a leadership role, somebody who could be like a queen or a king, you know, like that's what I'm trying to get to. But you have to have boundaries, because you can't just be willy-nilly people pleaser and saying yes to everything, because then that leads you down the wrong path. Can lead you either dropping out of school, drugs, jail, bad friends, just doing things you're gonna regret, or anything down those negative pathways, right? But if you have boundaries and you know who you are and you know what you want to be in life, and at least you know that you want to be a good person and you want to say no to a few things, make sure that you stick by those no's, because if you stick by those no's, they will definitely help you out in the future, and you might motivate people to be more like you. And with morals, I say morals are definitely important, because to be a good person, let alone a good woman, but to be a good person, you know, you have to have morals. Don't leave anybody behind. Friendship, sharing, caring, you know, helping strangers, talking to strangers, being empathetic, just anything that would make you look like a good character, that makes you feel like a good character, because that is what's truly about being a good woman, which is actually doing good for society, doing good for other people around you, making people feel as good as you are, or at least try to make them feel as good as you are. Okay? And also, if you have boundaries and morals that protect you from doing harm to yourself or harm to other people, or being like, you know, mean or evil or negative, then people will be motivated to be more like you, because sometimes it's hard to choose to be good. So this will show that if you're willing enough to protect you against negative things, negative lifestyle, negative people and stuff like that, then people are going to trust you with their lives to make sure that they're protected, and they're going to follow like your path. Hey, I don't want to go down the negative path. I want to follow Listless down the good path. Hey, Listless, can I come down the path with you? And I'm going to be like, yeah, sure, come on, let's go. So it's very important for truth number 2. And that goes into truth number 3. Truth number 3 is rising above. Rising above the norms, rising above the society, rising above the people around you. Because in psychology, they call this the bystander effect. But with the bystander effect, if there's big groups of people that, like, you know, say there's a protest going on, but then the protest goes left and everybody starts doing burglary and starts destroying stores and stuff like that, that is the group bias effect. That is when there's so many people that you think that you can't be to blame for the things that happen, because it's like, hey, I didn't just do this alone. 10 more people were with me when I did it, so you can't just blame me. So that's the group bias effect. And then the bystander effect is when you just see people like getting bullied. You know it's wrong, but you don't want to stand up for the person because you don't want to be the next person getting bullied or getting shunned or getting laughed at. So that's why rising above is most important for probably this whole video. But being a good person, I said being a good woman, but most of these you could really be a good person too. So it could be for man or women, you know. But yes, rising above, making sure that you're protecting people, loving people, caring for people, sharing with people when nobody's looking. When sometimes you don't feel like it, when sometimes you're mad or sad or depressed yourself and you don't have the energy to do it. Or just breaking bread with somebody when they don't even know it's your last $5, but you know, you guys got a Happy Meal at McDonald's or a 2 for $3 or whatever the case may be, right? But that is what being a good woman and being a good person is about. Like doing things in the shadow that you don't need recognition for, you don't need attention for, you don't need a reward, or you know, you don't need to get famous on TikTok for it, but you just do it because it's the kindness of your heart. You just, you know, help people out because you want to. You want to feed the homeless because you just want to feed the homeless. So, yes, it is definitely very important to do things without people looking, because it just makes you feel good. It makes you feel good about life. You have bigger gratitude because, you know, I always say that, like, yes, my life might suck at sometimes, or I might feel like it sucks, but you got to take into perspective that there are homeless people, there are people in shelters, there are people in hospital beds, there are people dying, there are people not eating, not drinking any water, not showering. In Puerto Rico, the water is not working. In Mexico, there's cartels, bombings, and this and that. Like, you just got to be grateful, and if you can, help the people that are around you. Okay? Truth number 4. Truth number 4 about being a good woman or being a good person would be to have empathy and be supportive. You have to have empathy and you have to be supportive. And that means that you have emotional intelligence to know how to use those emotions, empathy and supportiveness. So let's break it down. Emotional intelligence is knowing your emotions, knowing what you feel, how you feel, and what triggers that feeling. And emotional intelligence is also noticing that in other people. Now, that's where empathy comes in. So once you notice that another person, your friend, your family member, a stranger, any human, anybody is having a feeling of sadness, anger, depression, anything that you see by the non-verbal or verbal cues, then that's when empathy starts to kick in, if you have it. Because if you have empathy like me, then I'm going to want to comfort that person. Maybe like try different comforting methods, because with empathy, you got to take into consideration, this might work for me, but it's not going to work for that person. So if you know this person, if it's a friend, a family member, you might know how to comfort them. But if it's a stranger, then you just might have to do the basic hugging. Hey, what's wrong? Hey, how are you? This and that. Maybe a distraction. Whatever it takes to be supportive. So now that you ask them, hey, are you feeling okay? Hey, do you need a hug? Hey, here goes a tissue. Hey, what's going on? And now that you're asking them about their problem, that's where the supportiveness comes into play. You're not just handing them a tissue and saying, going about your day, or, looking at them crying and saying, are you okay? And they say yes, and you just walk away. Or, if any type of situation, you want to be the person that is supportive. You want to be the person that they remember, because just think about it. If you're crying in a bathroom and some random girl comes up to you and gives you a tissue and says, hey, honey, are you okay? You want to talk about it? You're honestly probably going to talk about it because it's a stranger, right? I mean, who cares? It's a stranger. You might not even see them ever again in life, so you're probably going to spill the beans. And then you're going to think about it like, wow, I just spilled the beans to my life to a total stranger. And then that is going to make that person memorable, because it's like, wow, this woman or man or whoever stopped their day, wasted their time to ask me what is wrong with me. So that means, they care, they're empathetic, and they're showing me support with my problem. So it is very important to be empathetic and supportive, and basically having emotional intelligence to be a good woman and a good person in general. And also with emotional intelligence is also having the patience, the compassion, the empathy, and just the intelligence of knowing what to say and when to say it and how to say it. Like, some people just know how to comfort you when other people could have said the same thing, but it's like, maybe it was their tone of voice, maybe it was them putting their hand on your shoulder, maybe it was them relaxing you before, or whatever the case may be. But having emotional intelligence is being able to have conversations with your lovers, your family members, even strangers, and to get them to open up and have a deep enough conversation to express their real deep down emotions. And then you guys could get to the problem and solve it together. And then that's how you be a good woman and a good person. Okay? Truth number 5 would be to have a personal gain, a personal goal, or personal growth in your life. Because nobody wants to follow in a path of a loser. Who wants to be like, yeah, I want to sit down and watch TV and eat chips all day and just gain weight and don't go to school, don't have a job, don't have a family. Let's just be hermits for the rest of our life and stay here. Yeah, high five. No. Nobody is going to say that to you. So, part of being a good woman, a good role model, a good person, somebody that anybody could look up to, is having personal goals, striving to be good, striving for the best, striving to do good in your community, striving to be a good friend, striving to be a good mother, striving to be a good cook, striving to be a good worker, striving to get higher in your company. Anything could be looked at as personal growth, just like anything. Making jewelry, having a business, having a food truck, having a restaurant, being a manager, anything, any personal growth that you just continue doing, because if you have a personal growth, I'm not gonna lie, like, that just makes me motivated to follow other people. So if I see people doing good in their life, I'm gonna be like, wow, I want to be doing good in my life. Let me take a couple of tips and tricks and see if I can add it into my life. And that's what being a good woman, being a good person, a man, whatever, that's what being a good person is all about, is contributing to the society and giving back, putting more good in society, putting more good, making people change to be more good. That's the whole point of this whole entire life, is to be good to ourselves, be good to other people, and make other people be good to more people, so we could just live in harmony. Okay? So, yes, personal growth definitely plays a part in it. People want to see you striving for your own passions, your own goals, your own future, your own visions. And maybe your own goals and your own visions and your own thoughts might change the world, says Albert Einstein and George Washington. Well, no, not George Washington, but Albert Einstein, who made the light. Whoever made the light bulb. I think that was George Washington who made the light bulb, though. Oh, God. But Albert Einstein, all those mathematicians who made science happen, light happen, energy happen, paper happen, all of those great geniuses had personal goals. They kept on, kept on getting struck by lightning just to create the first light bulb. Like, how many times he got struck by lightning? So, hey, he looked crazy to everybody around him, but that was his goal, and now look. We have lights, and he changed the entire world, and his grandkids and babies and his whole family heirloom is probably getting a percentage of this energy. They are probably rich for the rest of their entire lives. Like their third, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th cousins probably all get a percentage too. Like, I can't even imagine. So it is great to have personal goals. And it'll also just make you feel good on the inside too. Make you want to wake up every day and be a better person. Okay. Just some little side tips that I wanted to add in that I didn't need to make a whole segment about. But I just wanted to say you should be your own person first. Figure out who you are. Figure out what your character is. Figure out what your morals are, who you want to be, what you want people to view you as, what do you want to sound like, what do you want to be like, what do you want to do. Just think about it for a second. You don't have to plan it all out tonight, but just think about it. What aesthetic, what person, what morals, what do you want to stand by, what do you want to say no to, what do you want to say yes to. Okay? Also, love yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself now. Yes, the first step was to make sure you're okay. You cannot contribute and be good in society and make other people good if you're not good yourself. So make sure that you love yourself and you take care of yourself, because that is what matters first. And also, being a good woman isn't about being chosen by a man. It isn't about how many shoes you have, who has the nicest wedding ring, who's married, who has kids, who doesn't, who's going farther in life. That's not what being a good person's about. That's not what being a good woman is about. It's about uplifting people, being grateful and happy for where you are, and being grateful and happy for where other people are. And if they do want to grow, and if you can help them grow, help them grow. Let's all grow. There's enough money in the world for it all to go around. Okay? This does go to the women. This does kind of go to the women only. But I said, overall, being a good woman is about words and actions. Being able to comfort people, be patient for people, be supportive for people, and have empathy for people when they need it and when they can count on you, and that they could call you back anytime they do feel mad, sad, or any other negative emotions. Being a good woman isn't just about how many meals you could cook, how many loads of laundry you could cook, how good you could do a split, or whatever you think guys are looking for. Don't go for the wife material. Don't go for the I'll pop 5 babies out for you just because, if you don't really want to. Like, just be a good person, be a good woman, have morals, have character, have personal goals. And hey, if the man comes around, and hey, then if you want to choose to do the cooking, the cleaning, popping babies out, then that's cool. That's because you found somebody that you love, somebody that you trust, and somebody that you're willing to put your life on the line for. So, yes, that's my little tip and trick that I wanted to say, because, in this society, it's hard. You see all these women and celebrities getting married, and you think it's because they got the BBLs, or it's because they make businesses, or it's because they cook and clean, or whatever the case may be, right? But hey, you're gonna find your love, you're gonna find your way in your own way. You don't have to listen to the stereotypes or whatever the case may be. It's about being a good person on the inside, having a good heart, and being able to comfort somebody in their lowest deepest, most scaredest times, because that's when somebody's going to trust you. That's when somebody's going to see you in a different light, and that's when they're going to open up to you and maybe create a bond that will last forever. Okay? So yes, that is today's video, the truth about being a good woman. And this basically went to being a good person, because it kind of related to both men and women. Am I right? So we are going to end this video on that note. Kobe wants to go outside. So thank you. Kobe, say bye to Real Pretty Family. Don't forget to leave a like button, leave a subscribe button. So yes, that is the end of this video. Thank you for watching so much. Thank you for supporting me, watching me, giving me watch hours, leaving comments, leaving your thumbs up, sharing the videos. I see it all. I love it all. So thank you for supporting Real Pretty Family. So don't forget to leave that like button, that subscribe button, and continue to share these videos with all of your friends, family, and anybody who has a YouTube account. Okay? Love you.